Hi, Gareth. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm very good. Excited to hear what you have to tell us about service design and the difference between creating brand loyalty and an individual user experience. Why don't you start with that? Why don't you tell us the difference between one and the other and why we should care?
Yeah, sure thing. So I think UX is fairly well known right now, and it's the process of creating products that solve a problem for end users and that are fit for purpose. So UXs have a strong focus on making sure that your customer is central to the design of any of their products. Service design is quite similar. However, we are starting to look at things in more of a macro view and looking at an end-to-end process where a product would fit into. So we start understanding how we're providing services and products to customers, how that product would fit into that interaction with your customers from a high level perspective, and also trying to understand how we as a business provide that service or product to a customer.
Mm.
And I think what's great about service design is it can help streamline that process and make sure that your interactions with your customer, whether they're with the product itself or with your sales team, with your service team or help and support, are all consistent and are all telling the same story. And that's really important because if you can have a consistent message that you're telling customers and something that they can trust and believe in, you're going to start building loyalty to your brands. People are going to like dealing with you and want to come back and interact with your brands down the track.
Yeah, got it. So I guess this is really almost a 360-degree view, right? We're looking at a pretty holistic perspective here as opposed to just that moment in time
That's
or
right.
that web experience or that unboxing experience or whatever that specific moment is for a user.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So
It sounds a bit more involved, obviously, than just a simple UX project. I mean, I guess they're not always simple, but they sound a lot more finite. What can we expect from this kind of undertaking?
well, you're right. These projects are often a little bit bigger than a typical UX project. But that's because the UX project looks at a very specific moment in time and solving one problem within a chain or an ecosystem. So when you're looking at service design and something that's that holistic and end-to-end interaction with your customer from the first touch point all the way through to sales and services, etc., it can sound pretty daunting, but it doesn't have to be. The kind of first step in the process is mapping out that end-to-end journey and understanding not only your customer's experience, but also the business's experience in providing those services. So which of your teams are interacting with the customer at which points, and what are the tools that they're using to provide services for them? And are they fit for purpose? Do we have the capability to actually provide the desired customer experience that that one product is kind of promising to the customer across all those touch points? And making sure that's consistent is going to be the difference between a successful product and a really great product that never really goes anywhere.
Yeah, right. You mentioned this service design blueprint.
Mhm.
Can you give us an example of what that would look like in a real life scenario? What we talking about here, just briefly?
Sure thing. So take, for example, a retailer who is trying to deliver goods to a customer. So the UX project of that may be looking at how do we make sure the customer can add their delivery details and have their product sent to their house. But when we look at this from a service design lens, we've got to pull back a little bit and understand the end-to-end process. So you'd map out how a customer goes about buying a product. Is that in store or is that online? How they enter their details. Is it something that a customer enters themselves and puts in their own address? And can we make that easier for them? Is it something that we have sales representatives doing on their behalf? And is that a point of failure that we may have with people not having understood the addresses right, which may lead to deliveries that aren't fulfilled in the end? We also want to have a look at what technology we're using for that. So are we talking about someone ordering at a cash register and using a point of sale system? Are we talking about a sales representative using an iPad or a PDA or something like that? Or are we talking about someone using their laptop at home? And how can we make best use of the technology that we have within this ecosystem?
Mm.
And when it comes to delivery, it sounds pretty simple. So it may just be, I put in an address and 5 days later, a product turns up. But when you peel back the layers of that, that order has got to go from the online system to a back-end clearinghouse that may have to then go through to a warehouse. A sales order has to be put through. A employee has to go out into the warehouse, find a product, grab it, know that that's the product you ordered, bring it out to a staging area so a delivery driver can pick it up, and then deliver it on time. So there are so many different points of failure there. And great service design is understanding each of those touch points and making sure that we're optimizing that to make the end experience of getting your product on time, the experience that we're delivering.
Mm. Yeah, so there's a lot to consider. It sounds like the back end and the back office is just as important as what's going on in front of the customer themselves.
It is, and often it's somewhat more important. You can create a fantastic customer experience on the front end, but if you fail them by not making your delivery on time or delivering the wrong products, you've broken your brand promise to people, and that's going to have a negative impact on you as a brand down the track. Mm. However, if you make this seamless and a process that people can trust, they're going to tell their friends, and that's going to bring not just that customer back, but it's going to build your customer base through word of mouth, and that's going to be the best way to gain new customers down the track.
That sounds like it might be the moral of our story today.
Absolutely.
Is that what you want us to walk away with?
I think so. I think the thing to understand when you're walking away from a service design product is that great products don't necessarily guarantee successful products. And it's only through a service design lens that you can ensure that you are fulfilling the promise that you give customers when they buy your products.
Terrific. All right, great. Well, thanks for that little bit of education, Gareth. And if any of our viewers want more information on service design or to get in contact with you for any other reason, then they can find you through our website at
Absolutely.
itc.com.au.
Thank you.
All right, Gareth, thanks. Bye-bye.